Wordle is the game that won't go away.
I mean, we're still playing.
Every day.
I'm on a 30-day streak.
Along with millions of other people, which is why the New York Times bought it for 7 figures.
Just tell us all the figures.
Is that $1 million? Is it $2 million?
Is it $4 million?
But the craziest part about Wordle is that it only took 4 months to blow up. And there's some really specific lessons that we can learn about how it rose to popularity.
In this episode, we're going to break down Wordle as if it's one of the top creators on YouTube. And while we break down Wordle, Chris is going to try and guess today's Wordle, which he's been stuck on all morning.
Wordle's here to stay.
It's also fun to say.
Wordle. Wordle.
Wordle.
Word.
So Wordle actually started as a love story. The creator of Wordle, his name is Josh Wardle.
That's crazy.
He is a software engineer who lives in Brooklyn. He actually made the game specifically for his partner to play during the pandemic because she loves word games. He releases the game in October of 2021. And by January 31st, it's acquired by the New York Times. So that is an unbelievably quick rise without any marketing.
That's crazy.
And now, according to the New York Times, there are millions of people playing this game every single day.
My first experience with Wordle was just starting to see these boxes show up on Twitter, even in our company Slack. Everyone started sharing these green and yellow boxes with like a score. And I was like, what is happening right now?
Am I on a different planet? Yeah, what are all these boxes?
I need to figure out what this is.
That's one of the elements that actually just makes Wordle such a great story. It has a phenomenal Act 1. There's sort of this if you know scenario taking place across the internet. So there's a big gap there, right? Where you see the squares, but you are forced to try and fill in the rest of the story and understand what's happening. And that's actually what some of the best YouTube thumbnails do. They leave something out.
Not only do you have to actively figure out what else is happening here and how to engage with this, it also represents a community. Like you are on the outside of a community when you're seeing these squares, and you have an opportunity to get in.
Communities have visual languages.
Yeah.
Right. Even us, we have yellow. And they have vocabulary that other communities may not understand.
Yes.
Like that's just an element of some of the best communities on YouTube.
These squares actually came from a player. It came from within the community.
Yeah, so someone posted on Twitter with these emojis and Josh actually then incorporated it into the game.
What happens when you're on the outside and then you get to the inside is you feel a sense of ownership over the community and a sense of wanting to actually make that community really, really special. And we see that on YouTube all the time. For example, creators like KSI, they're actually creating their content from what their Reddit community is offering to them, right? Like he's reacting to what his community is offering to him. And I think that's what makes the internet really fun. Right now, specifically, is this active participation in entertainment.
It's like everyone asking us to make a video about the Sidemen.
Right.
Which we are working on. We're actively working on the video about the Sidemen. Stay tuned. Once you actually figure out how to play the game, you realize you can only play it once a day. So there's scarcity to it, which makes you want to play it that much more.
Once you get the word, there's like this dopamine hit and it's so exciting. Like I'll say, Elder. That was the hardest one for me.
Yeah, who knew there were going to be 2 E's?
2 E's, Josh. So Elder was crazy, but once I got it, this dopamine hit of like, oh, I figured this out. I get to share it. I get to show that I got it. I'm ready to play again, but I have to wait.
It reminds me of the YouTube comments when someone says, this video was too short. I wish this video was longer. That's the best comment you can get.
You know, a great example of that is David Dobrik, who, you know, in his kind of rise of vlogging was keeping everything to that 4 minute and 20 second mark. And that made it this process of excluding more than he could include. And that made you want more.
I think as creators too, we always think we need to be putting out more videos, more content, right? The algorithms tell you that, audiences tell you that.
Yeah.
But the reality is there's something really nice about doing less if it's better.
Agreed. I think you want to create the emotion with the audience that they can't wait for the next one. And that's the same emotion with Wordle, right? Is once you're done, you cannot wait to the next one. And even it's built into the game where it has a countdown to the next word.
Chris, have you gotten it yet?
I don't know what to do.
All right, while Chris continues to guess that word, I'm going to tell you about the sponsor of today's episode, vidIQ. vidIQ is a tool that empowers creators through data. Let me show you what it looks like to log into our vidIQ. We get insights into the channel that help us inform future ideas. We can also search keywords like Wordle, check out the search volume, competition for the keyword, and see what other videos are trending about Wordle. Now, if we can't come up with an idea, vidIQ also uses AI to generate daily ideas for your channel specifically. This is also available in the vidIQ mobile app, so you can swipe through ideas. And as you do this, the AI gets better at giving you those ideas.
We even used this one about KSI and Logan as a jumping off point for a video that we made.
The free version of vidIQ gives you 3 ideas a day, but here at Colin and Samir, we use the Boost plan, which gives us 50 new ideas every day.
It's a word I know.
vidIQ is trusted by millions of creators, including ourselves. So click the link in our description and you'll get 50% off a Pro or Boost plan for 2 months. So check out vidIQ. And Chris, did you get that word?
So now you've gotten to the point where you're a part of the Wordle community. You can only play once a day. You're craving it every day, and it becomes part of your ritual.
There's so many things that we do on a daily basis that are actually the exact same thing we did the day before. Like if you wake up, go to the gym, get coffee, go into work, like there's so many things that are exactly the same. And we actually like to be creatures of habit.
I'm at a point where if I don't play Wordle, my whole day is ruined.
Okay, that's extreme.
No, it's like, I'm not going to say ruined, but it's a little off.
Okay.
Like if something bad happens that day,
Sure.
it's because I didn't play Wordle.
Okay, I'm not going to go that far. I'm just going to
will.
say that I enjoy it every day. The same way I look forward to my first sip of coffee in the morning. I look forward to now playing Wordle in the mornings.
So ritual is a really powerful thing because we like to build habits. And that's something that as a creator, you should anticipate and know that you are going to be playing into the habits and the rituals of the people who are watching.
I mean, just start to think about podcasts, TV shows, or back thinking more on a creator basis. When Casey Neistat was daily vlogging, every morning I would wait for that upload. 8 o'clock in the morning, I was like, where is it? Where is it?
If you go to the same donut shop
Right.
and they say they open at 8 a.m. and they're not open, you're like, come on, I'm never going to go here again. Even worse, maybe they're open at 8 a.m., but you get there and they're like, we're serving bagels today.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Are you following me?
A little bit.
You know what I mean?
I mean, this is a real East Coast thing you're throwing at me because this is not something that's a part of my daily routine. You go to a donut shop every morning?
No, I actually go to a bagel shop, so I sort of reversed the story.
Okay, got it.
But I'm just saying, imagine you went to a shop expecting a certain thing. They're not open and they're... Chris, did you lose?
I'm gonna lose my mind.
Yeah, this is what happens.
This is what happens. I wish you the best.
I'm so angry.
The fourth thing about Wordle that's made it so successful is the fact that it's extremely shareable. We talked about this earlier, but built into the game is a way to immediately share your results.
And I would say that the fact that it's built into the game, it suggests something for creators to think about. How can you build in either a call to action to share the video or some reason, a compelling reason that someone should share your content? So how do you apply that to what you're doing as a creator? I think the way you do that is making sure that all of your ideas are simple enough to be explained. And even that your channel idea is simple enough to be explained.
Yeah, it's all about reducing the friction for someone to actually share to someone else. We call it headlines, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you come up with an idea, whether it's for your channel or for a video, you should come up with the headline that someone would use to write about your video.
Max Fosh just released a video called How I Became the Richest Man in the World for 7 minutes. That's pretty interesting.
That's very unique.
That's very unique, right? And that's a good headline. Like, this YouTuber became the richest man in the world for 7 minutes. And that allows for both shareability as well as intrigue, as well as accessibility, right? There's something really interesting about that. But most importantly, you can just say it to someone and they'd be interested in it.
So with Wordle, even though we're all playing by ourselves, it actually speaks to how competitive we all are. You got it.
Cynic.
Way to go.
That was a hard one. That arguably was the hardest word.
That's been the hardest one.
That's got to be one of the hardest Wordle words.
Although I got it 4 out of 6.
You got it 4 out of 6? Wow, there's this feeling of
You're competitive.
competitiveness that I'm feeling right now.
Yeah. It's an individual game, but because we're all guessing the same exact word, we can be naturally competitive. And because they have this built-in sharing mechanism, we're all seeing how we stack up against each other.
And I think there's probably a lot of people, including myself, who have text threads with friends of these Wordle squares and your scores every single day. So it also invites this opportunity, not only just to share, but to create conversation. It's a bridge for conversation for people, right?
The same way that YouTube does.
Exactly.
Right? YouTube is available to so many people, but it sort of collects people in these different little pockets.
And although people are watching individually, there's a collective experience, and a lot of that's happening in the comments section. And I think one thing that you can really learn from this is the nature of like, can you create a situation where there is a conversation happening in the comments where people do want to become the most liked comment, right? That now creates a competition. So not only is this a challenge, right, to try and get this word in as few tries as possible, it's incredibly accessible. Just go to the website and try it yourself. So if you want to compete, there's no gate outside of just going on the website. There's no fee. There's no sign up with your email. There's none of that. It's just like, go and play. So I think making your competition and your community accessible with a click of a button, that's really important. So an example of accessibility with challenges is like, I don't know if you remember the ice bucket challenge, cinnamon challenge, right? These are things that...
just TikTok.
Or just TikTok, yeah, sure.
It's all challenges.
Yeah.
Right? Accessible challenges.
And it's instruction too. Here's the challenge. I'm going to tell you what the challenge is. So now you get to go try that yourself. And if it's accessible enough, again, like putting cinnamon in your mouth or doing a dance to a song, like if it's accessible enough, more people will do it. The more accessible it is, the more people will do it.
And it doesn't always have to be a challenge. You look at a lot of these videos where they review food. That's extremely accessible.
Sure.
Right? When Emma Chamberlain does a Trader Joe's taste test, you could actually go to Trader Joe's and eat the same food and see how you would react.
I don't like it, actually.
So accessibility is also just about putting yourself next to your audience, right? Doing something that they could replicate themselves.
But the most important thing here to take from this story is that when Josh first started, he had what's called an audience of one. He didn't think, I'm making a game for millions of people, which he eventually did. But his initial thought was, I'm making the game for one person.
Yeah, that's so key. When you're starting out as a creator, you don't want to think about creating for everyone. Most likely, if you do that, you're going to end up creating for no one.
If you're creating anything, whether it's a YouTube channel or an e-commerce store or a product, thinking about one specific customer, your target customer, target audience, that audience of one, and create it for them. And that's what Josh Wardle did, is he made it for his partner, and she wanted a game like this.
People are more alike than they are different. So if you make something for one person, most likely there's a lot of other people out there like that one person.
All right, let's recap these lessons.
Number one, if you know, you know. Wordle grew so quickly because it developed a vocabulary and a visual language that other people didn't understand. You only understood it if you were on the inside.
Number two, scarcity. Wordle's only available one time per day, and the fact that it's so scarce makes you want it even more.
Number three, ritual. Wordle has become a daily habit for all of its users.
Number four, shareability. The game has a built-in share button and a culture of sharing your results publicly.
And number five, because Wordle is so accessible, we're all able to take part and see how we stack up against the rest.
So those are 5 reasons why Wordle just won't go away, and lessons that you can learn and apply to what you are creating. Make sure to check out vidIQ. The link is in our description. I'm going to use vidIQ right now to show you how many more views we did last month than the NHL.
That's a reminder to subscribe to help us pass They Who Should Not Be Named.